You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Orange is the New Black After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Orange is the New Black After Show.
The animal, tap, 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 till the cage is full. The cage is full. Let it go. Let it say on you. You got time. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, After Buzzers. Welcome to the first season, first episode of the brand new Netflix original series, Orange is the New Black. Orange is the New Black. I'm your host, Thaddeus Massey, and we're so excited about this because I'm sure you guys are too. That's why you're watching and listening. And joining me today is...
Hi guys, I'm so thrilled to be here. Emma K.
What's up, Emma K? I'm Meg T. Megan Thomas, also known as @MegScoop on Twitter.
And I'm Scott Moore. And Meg and I are in our orange tonight.
Because it's the new black.
It's orange. Orange is the new black.
Orange.
And we're also joined by our super producer, Marisa Serafini, who's going to be chiming in.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a five-some every week, every time we do this, because
party.
this show is requiring, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, not to go off the beaten path, and we're going to start talking about the show, but Netflix is coming with the heat. Okay, they had House of Cards, and now they're following up with this dramedy. How I don't know. This is dramedy. Would we call this a dramedy?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a dramedy, and I think that they are following up House of Cards. I mean, superfluously. Is that a word? That's a word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow, throwing out the big words right
I'm
to
just
begin
saying,
here.
I don't know. It's just great. I think they did an amazing job of programming. They bought this show, and I just think they did a great job. And that's all I'm going to say about it right now until we're getting to the specifics about talking about the actual show. Don't worry, you guys. We will not harm your ears anymore by singing the theme song. We just
speak for yourself.
Right.
Speak for yourself.
At least I won't.
Here.
You won't catch me singing. Oh, you will maybe. I'm not going to lie.
I always do the sing. Even if I don't even know the words, but I will.
I'll just hum along too.
Yeah, come on. It's a catchy little tune. Let's jump right into this season. Talk about Piper and her shenanigans. She seems like a girl who's always gotten into one thing or the other, or just like backstory wise. She seems like she's always had something going on. She had this lesbian relationship with this girl who was a drug dealer.
An international
drug
Yeah.
dealer, who's played by Laura Prepon, who's a great actress. Loved her from 70s Show and a number of other projects she's been on, and it's great to see her dive into this role.
Yeah, and a very different role for her too.
It
you know,
is
different
a very
look,
different role.
different everything.
Right.
She's bearing it all.
Yeah.
She does.
Almost.
Literally.
Laura.
Before the credits. Before the theme song.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Didn't even wait for
In
the
the-
theme for the open before they're already going for it.
Right. So Piper is like surrendering. She's obviously got caught up into something 10 years before with this love affair that she had with Alex, and she got caught in a conundrum transporting drug money across international lines.
Yeah.
Right? Now she's moved on in her life 10 years later, so we fast forward, and she's in this relationship with Larry, who's played by none other than Jason Biggs, who is from, of course, American Pie fame and a few other projects that we love. Jason Biggs. I think they did great casting.
Yeah.
With putting him in this character, in this role, the awkward, stable yet unstable kind of guy. This character was great for him.
Right.
Haven't seen him in a minute, and love the fact that they got him on the show. The way the characters of Piper and Larry play, they did great casting for that. I think they were making excellent character choices for these two.
It's good to see him in a more adult role too.
Right.
You know,
it
something
is.
a little bit more
Even though it feels like he's still stuck being a kid.
It does. Yeah,
Right.
he looks exactly the same.
He does. Isn't that crazy? He looks exactly the same as he did in all the American Pie movies.
Yeah.
He has not aged, this guy.
Nope.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be around for a while. He's like the new Eugene Levy.
Right.
He has that whole like sensibility and that whole like disposition. But taking your girl, I mean, what is it like taking your significant other to surrender? Where you know they're gonna do like hard time for like the next like 18 months. I couldn't even imagine that. I had to put myself in his shoes, and I'm like, he's doing time with her. If you're really with that person, you're really in love with that person.
Yeah.
It is almost. I don't want to say it's worse. I can't say it's worse. That's taking it a bit far. But I just think it's like really hard to be living in the free society, knowing the person you want to spend the rest of your life with is locked up,
and you're not able to be with
and
them either.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
No. Yeah, you're completely powerless. But I love that scene when he takes them in at first, and then the guys, I don't know, guard or whoever was like, "Oh, visiting hours are over," and she's like, "Oh no, I'm surrendering."
Right.
I thought that was a great, like, open, for that. It was fantastic.
Like, did he seem surprised?
Yeah.
Yes, he was very surprised.
Right.
I
I
love
love
that.
that scene.
Yeah, because like what you were saying, like the whole 10 years past, she kind of comes across as a very preppy suburban, has her herself together,
Right.
like last person you would waspy, last kind of person you would picture like going to jail.
Right.
So it was I love that little scene there because it kind of showed everything of what she'd become over the past decade.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be really difficult for him. Just seeing, I mean, she has the outburst before going into surrendering with the whole ring. You know how she throws a tantrum.
Like, you're gonna lose that in the washing machine.
Yeah.
Right. He said, "Oh, put it in my. I can't take it with me." And he's like, "I put it in the pocket. Really? And put it in your pocket? Well, where would you like me to put it, Piper?"
Yeah.
Put it up your ass.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll fit. My head is already up there.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I mean, like, really? That threw me for a loop. I wasn't expecting that. So just that kind of writing is. I was like, okay, this writing is going to be really good. I'm impressed with what they're doing here. This is really funny.
It also goes to show that Piper has made herself a new life, and she is that good person. And having this fiance now, that he's really good as well, that's supportive. So I think if Piper made that decision that she's going to surrender, then the only good thing that Larry can do is just support her in her decision.
Now, did they make it clear? Is she surrendering because this is like her first and only offense type
No,
of
they
thing?
did. They did
they
explain it when she went in and she was talking
To Healy.
to Healy,
Yeah.
and basically the statute of limitations was 12 years and it had been 10 years.
Right.
And her lawyer had said, it's better for you to just go this route than to go through the whole trial and everything because it could be
International drug
it
crime.
could be worse.
It could be more.
That's
Yeah.
a lot.
Right.
So it was
Many
just,
more years.
So he had told her to just plea and then take the 15 months in prison and just be done
Not a
with
bad deal, actually.
It's not a
I'm
bad
gonna
deal,
lie.
but
it's
it-
not a bad deal. for an international drug crime,
Right.
15 months, she got off easy.
But
Is it
I-
15? Is it 15 months? It's
Yeah,
15. Oh, wow.
I
Count
agree
your
with-
blessings, Piper.
Yeah, I agree with her grandma. She did not take anything, and that was not worth
Her grandma was like,
15 months.
She said it wasn't about the money, grandma.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, Piper. Like, not even for the money?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
are you kidding me?
But it does stink though because even like he was saying in jail, like how the whole justice system is kind of crazy. He was saying, like one person, one woman backed over a mailman or something and
By
got 4
accident,
years.
yeah.
And he only broke his collarbone. She didn't kill him.
I mean,
Yeah.
so it's true because you do see this with the justice system. You're like,
Right.
it does seem kind of crazy how you kind of cherry pick and choose like sort of what happens when people go to jail or in prison or whatever for crimes that seem kind of little, don't seem serious.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean,
Unfortunate.
I think they're going to do a good job. I'm foreshadowing, which I'm cheating because I've watched. But
Now, how can you do predictions on
Right,
here
that's how
when
you do predictions.
people have seen it?
you can tell that the writing is going to be such where they drop hints and drop like
Oh yeah.
drop a lot of like hidden messages and some of the messages will probably be right on the head, just like when he was talking about what you were saying when Healy was mentioning how the lady backed over her mailman by accident and got 4 years. He only broke his collarbone. Like these are certain things that just show that the system is imbalanced.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk about the setup of how the women's prison is. For me, it seems a little juvie camp-ish. It doesn't really seem hardcore
Yeah, it doesn't.
prison-ish.
But
for
Piper-
me.
I mean, what is?
But maybe
what's
I'm like,
supposed to be
maybe it's just
different?
because for women. Is it worse?
I mean,
because it's for women? or-
why? How does it make it seem like summer camp? Like,
Are you
like,
expecting
makes
violence?
That's what I'm saying. Were you expecting somebody as
fighting?
soon as they got off the van, somebody like shanks them? or
Okay. Well,
something?
then here's the thing. Just from a spectator or someone who is an audience member watching, who's seen plenty of films about prison life, you know, and guys that are in prison, like, it seems like, is this because it's a women's prison, or is it just because this is how they want to set it up, because it sets the tone for the kind of show it is? Because whenever you see a men's prison, you feel like it's hardcore. Like, I don't know if it's the shot selection or how they direct it, or I just don't know what inspiration or what prison that they might have used. Is this maximum security? Is it maximum security? Is this minimum security? Is it medium security?
Well, I mean, it was sort of like Healy had mentioned that too. He had said to her that she's going to be okay in there because it's more of the rumors and the backhanded, you know, those type of things than the violence. Yeah. But I don't know if he was just saying that and it's going to be different. I don't know.
And it's not maximum security, by the way, because I know during the orientation, what's his name? Porn Stash?
Yeah, I always think Porn Stash. Mendez.
Mendez, yeah. Mendez mentions, he said something about maximum, so that's elsewhere.
Right.
But I also think they set it up based on Piper's character as well. I think if they put her in, you know, the type of facility and jail you're talking about, it wouldn't match with her character and the way they wanted to play out the story.
That makes sense.
So it's based on her and how she is.
Right. Well, I mean, that which makes sense. I mean, I want to see how real they're gonna make this, you know. But they've already started setting it up, like, you know, like you guys said. Healy is saying you have to really watch her back with really like rumor starting and blah blah blah, which leads to.
But the main thing that he's concerned about is lesbian action going on. So to him, that is the biggest thing that could happen.
Right. What's really strange to me, like, how did you guys feel about the whole Healy, like, Piper saying, you know, you just need to keep your head down.
He's a creep.
He's trying to like identify with her.
Exactly, because that's what you have to. That's what he's trying to do, is to keep her isolated to the point where anytime she has a problem, she runs to him. Because that's how predators are. Healy, we're on to you. You know, you want people to feel like you're the only person that they can trust.
Now, do you feel like he's doing that because he wants her to snitch to him to find out what is going on? So he always knows what's going on, or do you feel like he's trying to just keep her away from the populace and keep her so she can do her time because he feels like she's this nice little weak thing, and to help her do her time as well and easy as possible and help her get out?
I think it's definitely a status thing with him, because he says there's few of us or something like that, where he compares Piper to himself. So he sees it more of a status thing that, okay, me and you are on the same level, and I'm kind of like, as they say, protecting my own kind.
Right.
So he feels like he has to protect her. In a creepy way, of course.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, but I thought you did a great job at like how it came across, because in the very first episode, I'm like, oh gosh, he comes across so nice and like, oh wow, what a nice warm guy.
And you know, she's like mentioning my stuff is in Barney's, and she's like, it's a high-end store.
That was funny.
That was funny. Yeah, like nobody gets the references or whatever from life, I guess.
I don't know. I'm a little creeped out by him, and I think that his intentions are not always so good, because you're in a population full of women who don't have anybody to reach out to, and I mean, when you're in a society, it's society where it's a male-dominated society. So now you have all these women who want stuff. What's the easiest way? Well, come here into my office and close the door.
I think there's definitely attraction between, from him towards Piper, but you could see that attraction, you know, kind of. It was shocking for him when she said, "Oh, and I have a fiance," you know, to make sure he knows that she's not lesbian, but he took it as like, oh. And then she's like, "Can he come visit me? Is his name on the papers?" I was like, at that moment, I was thinking, okay, he's going to do something to make him, you know, not be able to come and visit her.
Right. Which is also really funny, because he made the comment about lesbian activity, not knowing that she had already been in a full-scale relationship.
She had a past.
Like, honey, if you only knew. If you only knew.
Gosh, here you go. Put your foot in your mouth. You don't even know this girl. She just came off the street surrendering from her drug money prosecution. Anyway, okay, so Piper's really having a hard time acclimating when she first gets in. Let's talk about her bunkmates when she first comes to jail, or prison, not jail. She comes to prison, and I guess Morello is her name. comes
Poor thing.
and Morello's
with her red lipstick.
She reminds me of this character reminds me of somebody from 16 Candles or something back in the day.
Right.
You know,
that
that
harsh
kinda,
New York, that Queens accent she has.
Something of that
Queens
nature.
accent.
Like, back in the 80s or whatever, just like a straight throwback. But she's, I guess, taking the girls all around to their respective bunks.
Kind of giving them the little 5-cent tour there.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the girls, somebody walks up to one of the girls and slaps her.
Diaz.
Somebody that's already in the jail. And everybody's like, what the F? And she's like, whoa, like, do you know her? Or it's like, oh, that's my mom.
I was not expecting
what?
that.
No, I wasn't either.
Right. I'm like, oh, what is going on? You go to jail and your mom is
and your
there.
mom's there who looks like she's like 5 years older than you. I'm like, what is this all about?
That was
But
horrible.
it's so sad
So
that
bizarre.
they've put every single stereotype in the show.
Well, that's the thing I like about the show, that they have blatantly made it overly. They've made it overly stereotypical, and I think they've done that for a reason, because they play on race, ethnicity, age, sexuality. There's nothing that they haven't touched as far as this show is concerned. If you haven't watched all the episodes, you'll find that out later.
But that's what makes it so great, because there are so many different women that and just people in general that it goes over like a bunch of demographics that anybody who watches this could relate to certain someone.
And they're not afraid to be a little edgy about going through those stereotypes and maybe being almost on the borderline of being offensive, because they're just going to generalize a lot of those stereotypes.
And I didn't really understand why they named it Orange is the New Black, but now just thinking about it and talking, and I'm thinking, well, kind of like what Piper says, once you go in, you're just like everyone else.
Right.
So there is no color. It's just, you're all one.
Right. Plus they wear orange jumpsuits.
That's
the new outfit, because from her society where you wear the little black dress and go
that's how I take it.
And I go to Fashion Week every week in New York and LA and blah blah blah.
And when you buy one pair of Toms, you get one donated.
Right, that is so funny. But he's like, okay, that's great.
What are times? What are times? It's like, oh my gosh, you're like, whoa, you're in a whole nother world.
Because she's coming in with the mindset that she's volunteering in Africa, so.
Of course.
Because that's what her mom had to tell everybody. That's right. Her mom told her, they said, oh, she's
telling everybody that
she's in Tanzania or something like that, giving,
something
something crazy. Like, that's really funny. I mean, they have to have some kind of story, because they can't say she's doing time for 15 months.
Right.
When it's like she should be she's like a trust fund baby. Like, what is that about? So it was interesting to find out that in the first 5 minutes that Piper had TV titties.
Right.
What are TV titties? That's what I want to know.
Tasty is so funny.
Tasty is just a really funny character.
That was
like
awesome.
She rushes out of the bathroom and then she just like,
you got TV titties.
Yeah, she eye rapes her. Like, what is that? Like have you seen that before? Like, she's like, oh, like, what are you? Looks at her flip-flops, her comment. I feel bad about this whole commissary thing, because it's like this whole lifestyle of going to jail or having to do with anything that has to do with, she comes from probably the life where people have politicians in their pockets. Like, it's like you go to the club and the promoter doesn't know you or the door guy doesn't know you, but you know the owner of the whole building kind of thing. So it's like she's dealing with a level that is so on a whole other class system. It's like, what?
Because, she goes from this high...
I brought the check.
Right.
The check. Like, no, you got to mail the check to Iowa. I'm like, what?
Right. She comes from this waspy lifestyle where she's at the top of the food chain, per se, in society. And then not only does she fall from that, she goes to the bottom.
Yeah.
Right.
Because now she doesn't have anything at all in prison. She's less than the people who've already been there. She doesn't even have, flip-flops. She's got to wear pads as shoes, shower shoes.
Hey, she's creative.
With the rubber band.
Very creative.
Is that like a rubber band? It was like a rubber band wrapped around?
It's like a hair tie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very creative, but you're right. Like, she had and she didn't know who kind of worked what and how to get the favors and things that she needed. So she was like really starting from the very, very bottom there, and it was awakening for
But
her.
I think she's learning fast.
Oh yeah.
All
she
that
has
book
to.
reading.
She has to.
That is funny.
Yeah,
She
that was funny.
studied.
I'm not gonna lie,
for prison.
that was great though, because that's probably something I would do.
I
I'd
would
be like,
say
I gotta
that's-
make sure I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
And how do you get ready for prison? You study, obviously.
Yeah, that was great. And she's like, I'm gonna go in and my Amazon, and she's gonna have her whole list of things she wanted to do,
Which is really
book
funny.
list and
She had everything like prepped and planned out. She was like,
Right.
okay, I studied. Okay. And Nikki asked her, so what do you win for? She says, oh, aren't you not supposed to ask that? And
in all the books.
she's like, what? She said, what did Nikki say? Do you remember what Nikki said in response to that? But I remember.
She's like, you studied for prison?
Right. She
Yeah.
was like, I read somewhere that you're not supposed to. I read somewhere? Do you actually say that to somebody in prison?
Right.
I read somewhere that you're not supposed. Like, really? You're
Right.
setting yourself up for a beatdown. Some kind of way. One way or another.
Right.
Anyway, the guy, you know who I like? I like the guys. They didn't have a lot of lines. Actually, I don't remember them saying anything in this episode. But the guards that came in with the clickers.
So hilarious.
Yeah.
My favorite is the big one. I don't know what his name is.
Marissa was on the same page as me because she knew exactly where I was going.
So great.
Yeah.
Click, 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 click.
Oh wait.
Click.
Like,
I love him.
And
we
the
missed
two
Callahan.
guys-
We have to go back again.
The two guys totally did it like completely different based on
Uh-huh.
their based on their like personality, and they're like, coming. I mean, that I busted out laughing. I had to LOL like.
Yes.
I was busting up. It was really really funny.
Yeah, it was interesting, like just explaining like how it all worked, and the way the bed was to be made, and you sleep on top of the blankets.
Right.
And you keep, it was interesting.
I
to hear
mean,
about
I
all
think
that.
just the whole system itself, when they first go into surrender,
Mhm.
the people are rude. They don't like what they're doing. They hate their jobs. Even when Larry goes to visit her, it's just, I think the whole system itself, people need to.
Yeah, and they're
I mean,
used,
add a
to,
little
and they're
bit
used to
more-
talking down to, I think, to the prisoners too. So it's that whole mentality that takes across over to, like you said, people visiting. I think it's just they're in that type of environment.
Prison. Like, I don't think they have to be good on customer
No,
service.
they
So
don't.
they're not getting paid extra to be nice to me.
No,
Like,
they're
if they
just
feel
talking
like
down to the prisoners,
Right.
and that's just their mentality.
and
so
they have
rough it
to
out.
they have to
Be
I
tough
guess
and-
maintain some kind of authority,
Yeah.
and you don't maintain authority being nice to people.
Mhm.
Not in the
Which-
prison system with cold hard killers. You know, gotta
yeah,
be
which they
mean.
talked about, with other characters about the weakness, and you can't show any weakness or anything. I think that definitely goes to the prison officials. You got to have that authority. You got to be, and it doesn't matter who it is.
Right.
Well, let's talk about weakness, because Piper got tested very early as soon as she shows up by putting her foot in her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
What does she do, Marissa?
She insults the food with Red right in front of her, not knowing that Red runs the kitchen.
Yeah.
Now,
Tisk.
I don't know. Tell me what you think about this situation, Scott.
Well, you know what? It was like when she did it, I think I audibly gasped. But the thing is like if you're in there and you're trying to make connections with people and you're not knowing that this is the person that runs the kitchen and you're thinking the food is crappy, I was thinking, would I have done the same thing? I probably would have said the same thing to try to kind of get in with
Didn't she
everybody.
study that in her book?
I'm thinking I'm getting the yogurt, and I'm like, great, okay. And I think I to like have a camaraderie with everyone. I probably would have said the same thing. I was like, would I have done that?
Right. She was trying to she was trying to build.
Yeah.
She was trying to build a bond, and she was thinking, oh, she was nice to me, and I want to
Right.
Yeah.
actually.
He's thinking
Her,
have
her walls
camaraderie.
came down. Her
Right,
walls came
Yeah,
down.
they
Exactly.
came down enough.
With
and,
my people, we're sitting at the
yeah,
table.
You
You
get an
know.
experience with the Yogi Jones and the sisters. Just think, okay, this is okay, and I'm just gonna honestly say what I have to say. So I
Right.
don't know. Would you guys have done the same thing? I think I might have said the same thing. I don't know.
Not I, sir.
I think I would have been
I
really
don't-
quiet.
Yeah.
I'm mute.
Been
You know
thank
nothing
you, and that
about
was
it.
it. Thank
I
you,
would've
and that
been
was
a-
it.
I would have been
Thank you.
another
but
crazy
we-
eyes.
Right.
We see her throughout the, even when she first goes to surrender, she's talking about the Toms, she's
Yeah.
like being open, and
Yeah.
I don't think reality has hit her yet.
No.
Even when she's taking the picture for the camera, can I take another one? Oh, wait, hold
She
on.
says, "Oh, I wasn't ready." What? They're taking a mugshot, and
Yeah.
you're telling them that you're not ready.
Right.
I would have
mean-
probably done the same thing though. Like taking a smiling photo, it's sort of like the DMV. I'm like, okay, I want to make sure the picture looks okay.
Yeah, but no one's going to see that.
I know, but it's on your badge, and
That you
she
have
was
to wear for
wearing
15
it.
months,
Yeah,
right?
I'm like, I probably would do the same thing.
My self-esteem. This is gonna bear my self-esteem for the next 15
She's
months.
like,
that I'm
please
here.
don't leak this out to Barney's.
Right.
And what's really funny is like when the guys were taking the picture, they couldn't figure the cord out. They couldn't figure the camera. They couldn't figure the camera out and hook it up.
Plugged in.
And she was like, this is not plugged in. Then porn stash Mendez has to say, shut up and shut your mouth or whatever. He is this guy. What's this guy's name? Do we know this actor's name?
He's Liev Schreiber.
Pablo
He's his brother.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's Liev Schreiber's brother?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And I love Liev Schreiber. He's the bomb. But the fact that that's his brother, that's amazing.
He is the ultimate asshole on
This
TV.
guy
But like a dorky.
He is actually going
asshole,
for the biggest douche award.
Yeah.
The douche on camera
But it's
award.
like a dork one. Like it's just.
He is a little dorky.
Well,
Yeah,
he's definitely
it's sorta-
winning.
Huh?
He's definitely winning.
He is. He's winning.
But you can tell he doesn't have that lifestyle outside of his work.
Yeah, that's
it's where he comes to practice his
exactly.
authority.
Yeah, so it's where you kind of get that dorky side. Like
Right.
he's not really that.
He's the kid that got beat up.
Yeah.
And so he wants
to
to
take
beat
that.
up
So he
other
became
people.
a cop.
Yeah.
And not only he didn't become a cop, he became
A guard in
a
a
guard in a
women's
women's
prison.
prison. Not a man's prison. A women's
Yeah.
prison.
This guy Mendez, he's a funny guy. I hope that mustache is makeup and hair and wardrobe. I hope that's like makeup. I hope that's not a real mustache.
Oh, I hope it's
think
real.
so.
I hope
I
it's
think it
real.
is.
You think it's real?
Really? That is like a pedophile.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I
That's
hope it's
scary.
real because
Yeah.
that was good. I was wondering. I was like, is that real or not?
I feel
but
like he
hope
should
so.
be like on Reno 911 or something.
Yeah.
He looks.
That's what he seems like.
Well, that's where I kind of got that
Right.
dorky side. Like he's like the old school cop with the the big porn stash and he's gonna be all tough and
Yeah.
but he's really an idiot.
So how do you guys think that? Well, that's going into predictions, kind of, sort of. But just for her to get the yogurt from Red and then to insult the food.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta learn quick. You gotta be quiet. You gotta be careful.
Mm-hmm.
When you come from the streets,
No
you know never to open your mouth. You don't give too much information. You kind of fall back until you know who you can trust.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
Kind of
she's-
know the lay of the land.
Yeah, and so she's learning that you can't really, you gotta be careful with what happens because it can have serious ramifications behind bars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think I don't know. Red is like, okay, you might pride yourself in being a chef outside these prison walls, but I'm sure that the prisoners or she as a chef is not provided with the best of ingredients.
Of course not.
Which
So how can she
Which
even
they
be
said that.
insulted?
But that's why she's insulted
Yeah.
because it's like she puts her blood, sweat, and tears into this kitchen. She slaves over this food at least 3 times a day. She makes sure that they have everything they need, the supplies. It's hard because it's kind of a bureaucracy. She has to not only make the food, but she has to make sure they have all the supplies they need from people who don't want to supply it to her.
Right.
So she kind of felt like Piper was insulting her.
Yeah.
Not just the food. You're saying I don't put enough work into the food,
Or
and
I'm
you
not
don't
making
appreciate
it
what
well.
I'm doing. Yeah.
It's a personal attack. Not
Exactly.
Just, saying that she doesn't know how to do it.
But plus, she has, I think, her character or her self-esteem, even though she plays as this tough, lady who controls everything, she's really not. She's
course.
broken inside. So even that smallest insult to her means a big deal because, I don't know, coming, her background, a lot of things could have happened where now she has to put up that wall, not to let anyone insult her or break her because that's weakness.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, we found out just how not weak Red is by hooking up a special meal for
That was
Piper
disgusting.
for breakfast the next morning. Tampon McMuffin.
No, I loved it that when she goes through the line and she's like, wait.
Oh wait, what'd you say your name? Chapman?
Yeah,
You're Chapman.
we
You're
have a
Chapman,
special
right?
meal for you.
Yeah, something and then she was so stupid about it. Like,
She's so happy.
don't you
Like,
know?
thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Wow. It's like you're on the
What?
airline and you get the special, vegan meal or something like, I'm getting the special.
And
chicken
everybody
now.
has like 4 courses, like 4 different.
Yeah.
There's one thing on her, like.
And she felt so special,
Wrapped up in
like,
tinfoil.
I got the tinfoil meal, all of you guys. I could see that. She was happy. She was like,
Right.
I got something different.
Yeah.
Again, you're not at the top of society anymore.
It's like, what? You can't possibly think that, and the little boy one, the one that's behind the.
The little boy one. He called her.
I don't know her name.
Red
but she-
Psychic. It's like
my.
Red Psychic.
Yeah, it's like Red's little flunky, and she's like, what's her name?
I believe it's Poussey.
No,
Really?
That one?
No, Poussey is Tasty's friend.
Yes.
Okay.
I know there are so many
There's
characters in
Yeah.
this show.
That's
It's
Tasty's
hard,
friend with the
but-
short hair. But
I can't think of right now.
The boy one. Okay,
the one
that
that was in the
like
kitchen.
the other boy one.
I was gonna say boyish.
There's so
looking.
many.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters.
Gina Murphy. That's
Is
the
it
character.
Gina?
That's
Is
the
it?
character name. Yeah.
Okay.
Gina Murphy.
Yeah, she's the one that was like, hold up. Oh, you're Chapman, right? And then hooks her up. And she's like, oh, this is especially if you said, no, I don't talk, I just serve.
Mm-hmm.
I love how Nikki, you know, she makes a joke about everything. I loved Nikki's lines and how she
is probably the most cynical. I mean, you have to have that character. And she is no hands down, no holds barred. There's no fear in this girl because obviously she comes from a very unloved background, and she mentioned something about her mother and whatnot, and you know she can kind of care less whether she lives or dies. She has that kind of fearless, like, I don't give a you know what about anything kind of attitude. Yeah. And it's really hard a person with that kind of demeanor or disposition can hold leverage over almost any situation, especially in a very primal environment like prison, because she just doesn't care. She doesn't really care about anything. And I think they did amazing casting. I should have seen who the casting director was for this, but Natasha Lyonne, I haven't seen her in something in a while, but she is really good at playing that cynical, hard-nosed, doesn't give a care about the world, rough, kind of.
Well, and I think she has her walls up too, because she's been hurt. So it's sort of like the same kind of thing, which I think we're going to find out throughout this season, is just a lot of these characters and their backgrounds, and a lot of them are very vulnerable and hurt and have to have these tough exteriors. Right.
But I was not expecting her and Morello.
You know what's happening? I had to watch that. I'm not even gonna lie. I had to watch that twice because I was like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Morella." I was so taken aback because I'm like, here she is in
planning
the van, and she's planning her wedding, and when the new inmate says to her like, "Oh, he's not gonna be there," she's like, "No, I'm the love of his life." And now we see Morello getting her rocks off in the shower.
But I think that was for Piper. I think that line was there for Piper because she comes in here with the fiance and she's expecting him to stay and wait for her. So I think the line it was directed towards Piper.
That's interesting.
But did she know that she had a?
I think just the way it was written, just for Piper to get it in her head. Like, hold on a second, maybe that could be me as well. So
I see that. Yes.
I could see that, but
then she sees her with, Nikki. Now it's like a setup, just something might happen. And, Healy keeps on saying the whole lesbian thing.
Okay, so do you guys think it's really cheating in prison where a lot of times these people have sex with people that in prison?
Cheating? Hold on,
wait. That's an interesting conversation.
Is the prison in a different zip code or area code? Then if it is, then it's okay.
Because it's a different life, is what I'm saying. So sometimes these people do these things as an alliance because this is survival. You know what I'm saying? So is it then cheating? Should they get a pass in prison if it's for survival that they have to cheat?
No.
Okay.
Do they get a pass if they're outside?
No, but it's not survival.
Yeah, it is.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
Somebody's going to shank you with a toothbrush that has a razor blade melted in. You might be like, yes, I'll be your girlfriend for the evening. I don't want to die.
You fight for it.
So is it cheating?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Thaddeus, is it cheating?
Oh, God,
is it cheating?
It's so hard to say that.
It's hard to figure it out.
I mean, once they got out, I'd be like, sweetheart, I completely understand. I do not blame you. However, I don't know if I can continue this. This is all I'm thinking about is blah 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 blah. I don't know. I think that's a very that's kind of to each his own kind of a situation. I think that person has to make their own moral judgment.
Good question though, because
that is a good question.
I don't know. I don't know where you put it there.
That's tough.
That is.
It's cheating.
Yeah, I think it's cheating too.
Because
what if she calls and tells Larry, like, Larry, on our weekly phone call, I need to tell you. So I had to become someone's girlfriend this week. Like, do you think? I think
Larry would be okay with it because Larry would think that her life is probably jeopardized or in danger. She's in danger, so she's like, look, I'm somebody's girlfriend right now.
Just so you know.
Yeah. Just so you know, just so I'll live through Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping this other person will free me, kind of thing. I mean,
but I think with them it's completely different because he does prepare himself by proposing to her before she goes in, so he's willing to be the man who's gonna wait for her no matter what happens. And she says, kind of like, are you sure you want to do this when, I'm going, to surrender myself? And he's like, yeah, I love you for who you are.
Know how bad it's going to get.
He wanted to lock that shit.
We'll see. This will be interesting.
Let's talk. We didn't talk about the lovemaking session before she wanted to go surrender.
Who has sex after they eat a pig?
Well, when it's your last night before prison, you got
to do what you got to do.
Wait, who roasts a pig like it's 1623 in medieval ages? And
where do you
it's
get
like,
a pig?
where do you go get a pig to
In New York
roast?
City,
Okay.
like where?
It was a full pig head and everything.
You can get the. I mean, I've done pig roast, and you like bury it in the ground, and you do the
where
whole
did you
thing.
get the pig?
I don't even remember. But something on the street,
That is so
you bring it
weird.
up.
They're everywhere
No,
in
you
the
can
city.
get them.
It's
Yeah.
a farm somewhere
You can get it.
in
That's
the
the-
suburbs.
That's the strangest thing. Like, get a pig, and then they got into bed and they were full. I busted out laughing because that has happened to me. You're in bed and you're like, we ate too much.
Yeah, that's happened to everybody.
This
Come on, that's happened to everybody.
This is not a sexual feeling situation. I think the gas is over. And what's really funny is, guys out there, how many of you? I just want to ask this question. How many of you, even ladies, some ladies might have done this, and your significant other might have like left the bed or whatever, and then you guys like, farted under the covers, and then you're like,
You got to air it out.
airing out the covers
so
like this. And it's
hilarious.
like, when he did that, I was like, oh my gosh, not just me. That was classic.
I think everyone's been guilty.
Yeah,
I
come
think
on.
probably everybody has been guilty.
Of course.
Yeah.
So she goes to the restroom and he's like, "Oh, you look beautiful," blah blah blah. And then she goes and sits on the toilet and just breaks down crying.
Yeah.
I think that's when it like kind of sunk in because it was like it was like our last night together, our last lovemaking session before I have to become somebody's wife or girlfriend in prison.
It was just her last night of freedom. It was more than just that moment with him. I think it was just all coming to her like my whole life is now 15 months. It's basically on hold. So
pig roast. Who does a pig roast? That's classic, though. That's classic writing, guys.
She makes
Pig
a good
roast.
point to her best friend Polly. She says, "Oh, it's kind of symbolism. It's a pig, cops. You get it,
She's funny.
She's very funny.
Yeah, I actually, what's funny? I just saw her. I don't know what the actress's name is. Do you guys know her name? Does anybody know her name?
Just forgot it. I know.
Polly Piper. I just saw her in.
Taylor Schilling.
What is it?
Taylor Schilling. Who plays
Taylor Schilling? Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw her in a film called Atlas Shrugged. It was a book written by Ayn Rand, and they made a film out of it, and she was in the film. It's actually on Netflix as well. They made a movie out of the book, and she's in it. And I was like, "There's Piper."
She's also in The Lucky One. Zac Efron.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But she's basically new, right? I mean, like a new actress as far as like she hasn't had
as far as doing a lead, like
definitely
doing
back history.
She's up and coming.
Yeah,
because she had that short-lived TV series Mercy.
Okay.
So she's been in a lot of things lately, so she's definitely up and coming.
Yeah, she's up and coming. I like her as an actress.
Yeah.
She brought a lot of nuances to this character and made a lot of great character choices, as you can see. For me, for this series, the reason why I wanted to do this series is because obviously you can't do a whole show on just ladies or one girl's experience in jail. You have to like get into other characters.
Yeah.
You have to get into backstories. And the only way they could do that is to do flashbacks, which is what they did with her. So I just assumed that they would do it with other characters, which is what I think that they're gonna do. Which actually helps you get more into the. And if anybody has been watching it or has binge watched and seen the whole season already, they know that they do a lot of flashbacks for the characters, so you can actually get into the characters and actually get into their story and how they ended up where they end up, which is in jail. They started from the top and now they're here instead of the other way around.
Yeah. And they're all buddies.
They're all buddies.
Just like Adventures of Serial Buddies, which is a great movie that we would love for you guys to download because it helps us right here at AfterBuzz TV, helps us keep the lights on, helps us to keep these things ad-free, buffering, all that stuff. So if you could just go to serialbuddies.com, download the movie, or you can go straight to iTunes and search for Adventures of Serial Buddies and download the movie. It helps us right here. I mean, Maria Menounos is in it, Beth Bears, Christopher McDonald. I mean, everybody. Your mom, your dad, everybody's in this movie.
Every single person in
Your
this
mom.
movie.
Yeah, so download the movie and help us here. Go to StereoBuddies.com.
She said your mom. Your mom. So my boy, who's visiting, his name is Michael Durgeon. He's a comedian up and coming out here in LA. He just let me know that Pablo Schreiber is Mendez. That was Liev's brother, and also that Taylor Schilling was in Argo.
Really?
Yeah, she was.
Which character was she?
Okay, I'm trying to remember which one she was.
Hold on. I got it. She played Christine Mendez.
Oh,
interesting.
In Argo, yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
Wait, was she the one with she had
Same
dark
last
hair?
name
Did she have dark hair in that film?
Mendez.
I think she might have had dark hair. I don't think she had the blonde hair.
I'm trying to remember.
And she had glasses. Did she not have glasses? She was one of the. Was she one of the?
I'm trying to remember her now and that.
Right.
I'm trying to remember. I think was she one of the hostages? That was trying to.
She might have been. I saw that movie a while ago.
I did too. That's what I'm trying to think. Like,
That's how good Ben Affleck is. That's why he got those
Make
awards,
sure
buddy.
forget everybody else.
Recognize the girl. Gosh darn it. Okay, so did we cover everything for this first episode?
We
so
left
far?
one thing out. The phone call she makes to
Oh yes.
at Caputo's office.
Caputo.
Yeah, when she calls
she's
Larry.
breaking down.
Yes,
So-
I think it's so funny. She's like, I've only talked to white people today.
Right. Right. Yes.
And you know, you really see the relationship. And I love the relationship. Larry is so comforting. He's
Yeah.
so, you know, he throws a little humor in there. And she tells him how she has to sleep on top of her bed, not in the bed. And he's like, look, 2 sleeps, I'll be there.
Right.
2 days.
He's,
you know?
yeah,
So
he,
cute.
really,
yeah, he was
really
there
good.
for her, and I think it was really funny. The funniest part for me was how Caputo busted out the lotion and the napkins
when
after
she
she
left.
left.
Oh, that was so gross.
I was like,
oh.
what?
I was like, oh, come
I'm
on,
like,
dude. Come on.
You guys are so hard up. But at the same time, you have to think the estrogen level and the hormones in the air. I mean, it's all estrogen. These guys have to be getting, because you know,
Well,
What
part of the pheromone thing
must-
is hormonal, so they have to be
I'm not
affected
making
by that.
excuses for
Right.
him now.
No.
Come on.
Right.
That was
No,
just
you go home and you
gross.
take care of that. You
Exactly.
don't do that at work.
Oh.
Where's that okay?
He told her to
What
lock,
job
to
is that
lock the
okay?
door.
I think
He
it's a
said, close
mustache
the door.
Close. Oh, he did say
He
close
just
the
said,
door.
close the door.
Right.
Like,
Maybe it has an automatic lock.
I'm
I
sorry,
got
as
your
a
back.
guy, I
Caputo.
still can't. I just found that was still gross. I was like, come on, dude. Like, that was just kind of like low
It's
rent,
it's a mustache creep
trashy,
thing.
you know.
But I wonder how real this is. I feel like this probably happens
Oh, yeah.
more than we know in
Oh,
women's
yeah.
prison.
So hold on. So they've got Caputo and Mendez,
Oh,
the
Mendez.
the stash guys, the kind of the pervs. Then you got Healy and Bennett, who are kind of neutral.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
Healy is a little, but he's still neutral right now compared to
now.
the other ones. The other
Yeah.
ones are still a little
Freaks.
Yeah.
like kind of far gone. Okay. So, did we cover everything for the first episode?
Well,
What else do we need
I
to go
just
over?
want to know what the nun did to be in jail.
Oh, she said. You remember she
Excellent.
said
Yeah,
she got she
She's a tree hugger.
she attached herself to at a nuclear site to protest.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Was that
Did,
her?
Yeah,
did they
The
say
nun.
That was the nun.
Oh, the nun. Yeah,
The
it sounded
nun.
like we're something red.
Sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
the nun.
Okay.
Yeah, she was
Well-
doing something good for the community and went to
Right.
jail. So
But I don't know
she should only be there for like 6 months or
I
something.
know,
I don't
right?
know.
Well,
That should be a short
I-
one.
To be there.
If she's a nun, honestly, if she's a nun, there's been plenty of people who've been activists and protested
Yeah.
in the name of something good, and they're not obviously threats to society or
Yeah,
criminals,
exactly.
and they don't go to prison.
That's what I'm saying. There's
So that's
maybe
kinda
there's something
strange
else
to me.
there we
Yeah.
don't know about, or
Mhm.
maybe she did more than just.
Maybe everybody
that's
else.
That's what she's telling everybody. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's
But
what
there's more to it.
Yeah.
You know,
Or they were
she-
talking about the justice thing in this episode. You know, maybe there's some weird thing where she got the book thrown at her for something that seemed minor. I don't know.
And then this
Yeah.
weird thing with namaste.
Yoga Jones.
With
what
Yoga
did she
Jones.
do?
Like she is so like
I feel like she.
peaceful, but something had to
what I'm
happen.
saying.
So what
I think she's.
did she do in order for her to end up?
She probably
In
was
prison.
a serial killer. Or
Yeah,
something.
right?
That's probably something completely on the
Exactly.
opposite
I mean,
spectrum.
maybe she because exactly because maybe that's why she's so like peaceful and like into the yoga.
She's reading
Right.
May Cause Miracles and trying to retrain her ego.
Right,
And, you know,
right.
thinking love and not letting,
Right.
you know, all that stuff go into her
I
head.
feel like she's like more of a kid stuck in a grown-up body. The way she carries.
Yeah, there's more to her. There's definitely
Yeah, and I like
something there.
the information that she gives to Piper. She says it's like a mandala. I think
Mm-hmm.
how
Yeah.
you know
It's
she's
a
like
perspective.
exactly. She's like when you get out of here, make sure you just
That was good advice.
Back there, wipe it away.
That was good advice.
Temporary, don't worry
But
about it.
she's done this before.
Right.
Well, did you guys find that interesting too when she had said temporary and then Larry had said the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, okay. You know, that he mentioned on the phone call, like, oh, it's temporary. So I thought that was interesting that both of those characters went with that temporary.
There's some balance. She has to have some balance because there are like some extreme characters, especially when you got people eye raping you, talking about you got TV titties. It's like, whoa, what is really going on?
And I love how, and I really love how when she's on the phone with Larry, how his mom picks up the phone and is like, are you okay? What's going on?
And it's like doesn't want to give the phone up. Like it's a timed call.
It's going to the stereotype. Yeah, it's going with that stereotype again of like the Jewish mom like being overprotective and wanting to like so they're playing. I felt like they were playing on that stereotype as well. But I was just going to say the very end. I don't know what you guys thought when she had that when she ran out after finding out the tampon McMuffin. And she has that yes, and she has
McTampon.
And she had
McTampon,
McTampon, and she had the anxiety attack. I don't know. At first, I thought it was a dream. Like she wasn't really seeing Alex. Like Alex wasn't real. Is what I'm saying. Like I thought it was a dream. I don't know what you guys thought, or she was just envisioning her because she was having that panic attack.
Well, I actually, for me, I knew she was there. It only made sense because she should be there because she was the one that was the main person. So I mean, the fact that
I thought it was a dream.
You thought it was like a dream?
I thought it was her hallucinating.
That's what I thought because she was having an anxiety attack, and I also thought like maybe Alex got off, and that was going to be that was really going to tick you off as a viewer, thinking like, oh, now Piper's in, but Alex got away with it, kind of thing.
I thought eventually they were going to bring her in and capture, but I thought originally it was an illusion.
Well, for me, it was real based on what she said, because she said it's now not a good time.
What?
Yeah,
because she said it's now not a good time.
Oh, gotcha.
So for me, that was like she's there.
Okay.
For me, if it was a fantasy, she would have said something. I don't know.
Like,
she would have said something else.
Nice to see you again.
She would have said, "Do you miss me?" or something like that. Like something a little more cryptic than "Is now not a good time." I thought she was gonna have a stroke or a heart attack right there on the spot.
Well, yeah, because she had said with her the roommate, the bunkmate had the heart attack
right
when she first got in. So I was thinking, she's having a panic attack. That's why I think I took that as that Alex wasn't real. But I wasn't sure what you guys thought.
It makes sense because she was not wearing an orange jumpsuit. I think if it was not real, if it was an illusion, she would have been wearing orange as well. Kind of like barely coming in, but
or regular
she
clothes,
was wearing,
maybe she would have been
she
wearing
was
street
wearing
clothes.
the
street clothes. Yeah.
But see, I take that as her. That's why I thought it was an illusion, because she had on the brown jumpsuit, and to me, I was like, okay, if this just happened, and if you recall when she was talking to Larry about the actual, I guess you could see what's the papers called when it tells you, like the transcription of what is going on, the paper that Larry had, the paper that was in her file. Remember?
Yeah.
But basically about everything that was going on.
Right.
At them when they said
the case summary.
Yeah, the case. There we go. And as Larry was reading it, it said that Piper did this, Piper did that. So I was assuming that if she was there to tell the courts that Piper did all this stuff, then she would also have gotten charged around the same time that Piper did, meaning she would have come to the prison at the same time. So that's why I thought she would have had on an orange jumpsuit as well if she was really in the prison. So I thought like, oh, this is definitely her hallucinating that Alex is in there.
But then they would have had to take some time to get some evidence against Piper. They originally need to book someone to have them confess to having whoever conspiracy or someone else with them.
True, but I don't know. I just thought it was supposed to be around the same time because they don't give you any information about that. So that's why I was like, oh, definitely a hallucination.
Well, I'm sure they're gonna reveal some more stuff as that comes along. Okay, do we have any news and gossip?
We do have one quick thing.
One quick thing?
Yes.
Okay.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Meg T, aka Meg Scoop, with news and gossip.
Because I got the scoop. So there's been a lot of different things on blogs and websites. People are talking about Orange is the New Black, and they're just trying to figure out if it's going to be as big as House of Cards. There's a lot of chatter, and they're also doing a lot of rounds on the news scene. Laverne Cox, who plays Brissette. There we go. Is a transvestite. Transgender, there we go. And she was on MSNBC just talking about the different issues that were going on and why this is so important, what it brings to light with this show.
Got you. Interesting.
I actually have one as well. Access Hollywood did report that Tasty will be in season 2, and she'll be seeing a lot more of her BFF. I don't want to
Poussey.
Gotta say it with an accent. Else it won't sound bad.
It's Pousse, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
S-S-E-Y.
Oh, okay. I thought it was with just an E too.
So,
Cool.
we'll be seeing, we have confirmation that one of the characters will definitely be back for season 2.
Well, I'm just glad to know that there's a season 2.
Right.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
No, right?
They're already
Poussey or
working
no
on
Poussey?
it.
They've already started working on season 2 production
Excellent.
just like a few days ago.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Okay, so let's jump into predictions really quickly.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, so based on everything we saw in this first episode, is it gonna be? This is the main thing for me right now. Piper's getting starved out.
Mm-hmm.
Is it gonna be anytime soon that she's able to remedy the situation with Red, the head chef? Scott, go.
I'm going to say at some point she has to, either by going to the authorities, which I don't think she wants to do, but she's got to do something because she's going to be, she's got a limited time here, not being able to eat, survive. So she's got to figure out a way. So yes, this has got to be short-lived.
Okay.
I think she will go tell somebody, and she'll tell like the warden or someone that she's getting starved out.
So you think she's a snitchy type?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's got to do something.
Okay.
I have a different prediction.
Okay.
It's for season 2.
For season 2?
Whoa.
No way.
After seeing the first episode?
Episode 2, not season 2. Emma K.
Why not? Let me just make my prediction.
Go ahead.
I think Piper's sentencing is going to be extended from 15 months. I think she's going to be in here for a while.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Interesting.
She doesn't get less time for good behavior then.
Well,
That's
hopefully she doesn't go to SHU, which
Mm-hmm.
is, yes. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, she can end up getting black market food under the table. Who knows?
Yes.
Maybe she'll start performing sexual favors for real Egg McMuffins. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? Season 2. Thank you guys. Where can we find you guys?
You can find me here at True Blood, actually, later on tonight. We got only 3 episodes left, and also on Twitter at SMan80. That's SMAN80.
Okay. You can always find me, Megan Thomas, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Meg Scoop. I like scoop of ice cream. And don't forget to go to iTunes and subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to AfterBuzz TV to this show. Orange is the New Black. Rate us, comment, give us 5 stars. Let us know what you think about Orange is the New Black.
And you guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at RealEmmaK.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Club Thaddeus. And you can find me here for some other shows that are coming up soon. I'll let you guys know next episode. Until next time, After Buzzers.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.